Good evening, everybody. It is Monday evening, and you're probably thinking, why in the world am I wearing a shirt, dress shirt, and a tie? Well, it's a new tie that I've never worn. It's not brand new. It's new to me, though. It's been sitting in. I have two Goodwill bags. Goodwill doesn't give you bags anymore. You got to buy them. There's these big, I don't know what the material is. It's not a plastic bag. It's something else. But anyway, I have two big Goodwill bags sitting over by my table in my bed, and they're full of ties. There's probably a good 20 ties in there I've never worn yet, so I plan to do that. And I'm wearing a brand new shirt. That's why looks so nice. It's just put it on not too long ago to fit it on and see how it looked. And it looks shiny and white, just the way I like it. I like my spiritual condition to be shiny and white too. When I'm in my prayer time, I like to confess anything. If I know for sure that I've done anything displeasing to the Lord, I confess it. I just say, Lord, if there's any sins, and then I tell him, if I've said something, Lord, if I've thought something I shouldn't have thought, anything known or unknown, Lord, I repent of it. I give it to you. I ask you to forgive me. And then as Jesus said in the pattern of prayer in the Lord's Prayer, to forgive others. So I just be sure, Lord, if there's anyone that's done anything against me, I do forgive them. I bless them. Please save them. And please forgive me. Because the Bible's very clear, if you don't forgive others, that God will not forgive you. So, very important. Good command. All right. I'm enjoying this so far. It's a little devotional book, but it's good. Each entry is pretty long. It's called Mornings with Jesus, 365 Devotions to Start Your Day. I have no idea when you guys are watching these videos. Probably whenever you can. And now we're on January the 4th. Go to Mark chapter 14. That's where we're going to read. The light is not so good in here. It's bright up here, but down here it's not. So I'm going to have to make sure I hold the book so I can see it good enough to read it to you. Let's start at verse number 1 in chapter 14. We'll go down to verse 6 just to cover this. And as always, it's for context's sake. So I want to say thank you for tuning in with me. Please do share these videos around as you're watching them, and do be leaving feedback as you see them posted, okay? I appreciate that. I want to get more people involved. And slowly, the subscribers are going up, so I'm happy about that. All right, I'm not going to read the verses they got here. It's going to be the same thing, and that's a different version, and the print's really small, so I'll just read it here one time. And then we'll get into this because it's not, really short. After 2 days was the feast of the Passover and of unleavened bread, and the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him, Jesus, by craft, and put him to death. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar of the people. And being in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard, which is perfume, very precious, costly, and she broke the box and poured it on his head. We know this story. And there were some that had indignation inside themselves and said, why was this waste of the ointment made? For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence, and have been given to the poor. And they murmured against her. And Jesus said, let her alone. Why trouble you her? She has wrought a good work on me. All right. And that's that Bible. It's modernized English in the King James Version. I like it. It's good for devotionals especially, or just for study. Oh, you can see the little hole. I didn't do the last button up. That's what happened. If you're a man and you wear suits, you'll know that if you don't do the last button up, it can leave a little gap in there. But anyway, pretty wild looking tie, huh? Don't ask me what it's supposed to be. Just a very special design, I guess. I don't know. All right. January the 4th, no titles. The author says, when I worked as a choreographer, I marveled at the dedication of ballet dancers. They invested years in daily training, making huge sacrifices of time and effort to develop the strength, grace, and skill needed for their art. And that was just the first step. Once they were in the production, they poured out more of themselves, repetition, discipline, and a constant attempt for perfection, all for a fleeting performance. Dance is an extravagant art form. It requires a huge offering of love. For the dancers, I know every strained muscle, each disappointing audition, every sacrifice of other activities is worthwhile because they are creating a work of beauty and power. The woman with the alabaster jar understood that sort of extravagance. She gave beyond what seemed reasonable to the onlookers, a year's wages for one moment to demonstrate her love for Jesus. Sacrifice, folks. Beautiful thing. My life is full of activities on which I would lavish time and attention, and many of them don't provide much return on the investment. But when I spend time alone with Jesus, pouring out my love and praise, breaking open the alabaster jar of my heart to share with Him, I can never be too extravagant. Nothing I offer Him is wasted. There will always be important needs that could benefit from my attention, just as there were poor people who could have benefited from the money the perfume could bring. But there are also times when the gift Jesus most wants from me is worship. I long to hear Him say, as He did of the woman in Bethany, "She has done a beautiful thing to me." All right. Good one. Hope you have enjoyed it. Here's the faith step at the bottom. It says, play your favorite worship music and pour your heart out to Jesus, telling Him how much you love Him. All right, so we can put this into practice. Pretty neat. I like how it has that at the bottom, little hints of things we can do to improve our walk with the Lord. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for looking at my brand new shirt, my ugly, unique orange and black and white tie. You never know what I'm going to wear. So I'll see you in the next video. It's called Mornings with Jesus, so stay tuned for many more of them to come. God bless.